Rural, irreverent, and really, really gay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me tonight here on the Offlimits Show. It is Wednesday morning, or it's actually Tuesday morning, May 5th at 11:57 p.m. Central Time. So thanks for listening. If you're listening live or listening in the archives, I do appreciate it. I want to say thank you for listening when you do, and whether it's live or in the archives or however you listen, I appreciate it. And by the way, you can always go to offlimitshow.com and listen to the show there. If you could click on listen live, you can hear the show live there if you like. You can also listen to the show live on Spreaker.com. You can listen to the show in archives on Spreaker, as well as on my webpage, offlimitshow.com, and on iTunes. If you want to subscribe to the show there, you can listen to it there as well. Also, you can listen to the show at there's somewhere else. Where else am I? Like in several places. Pride FM or Pride 48 FM or Pride48.com. And coming soon to more outlets, I'm sure. Not anyway. But thanks for listening. If you're listening live or however you're listening, I appreciate it. Tonight I'm talking about several things I've got on my list here, and hopefully you can hear me. I've had some issues with my audio lately because I had a couple of things changed by mistake on my settings, and I kind of fiddled with them earlier tonight, so hopefully they are back to normal and you can hear me okay. And hopefully the audio sounds good as well when it's playing, when I'm doing the Acoustic Mass Show, which I do all music. And by the way, if you don't know about the Acoustic Mass Show, what that is a show where I talk, or actually I don't talk at all. It's just a show. It's all about music. So if you like music, it's definitely the show for you. Hold on a second. It's definitely a show for you because all I do on the Acoustic Mass Show is play typically, sometimes I'll play like a variety of music from different, genres and eras or whatever, but usually there's a sort of a theme to it. And a lot of times I'll play just one album as opposed to several different songs from different albums. And I think it's important sometimes to listen to the entire album as it was presented by the artist, because it does kind of create more of a, an atmosphere and a feeling for the listener. And I think it does matter. Most of the time these days we are buying music, a song at a time, unless it's an artist that you really love and adore, like I love Madonna or whatever. I buy all of her albums regardless of how good or bad they are. And I love most of her music, so it doesn't matter. But if you're someone we like but we don't really love, or we're not a huge diehard fan of, excuse me, we'll often just buy just one song at a time, like a single that we like, or whatever. And I think it's a shame, because I do think, as someone who does have a fine arts degree as well as architecture degree and everything else, I find it to be important to I understand how an artist works and how they think, and why it's important to present the entirety of whatever they're working on. When it's music, obviously, you want the entire mood to be set by the entire album, not just by one or two songs. I mean, that's how I think anyway. And if I were a musician, which I am a musician, I'm just not a professional one. I've been playing the violin, guitar, and piano since I was very young. The violin since I was 5, the piano since I was 8, and the guitar since I was like 20. So I've been, I understand it. So anyway, my point is that on our Acoustic Mass, I do play that quite often. I do an entire album, so you can listen to that. I think Sunday I played actually the entire Janet Jackson album, and from the Janet album from 1993 by Janet Jackson. And I've done Madonna, I've done Erasure, I've done Pet Shop Boys, I've done all sorts of different types of genres of music. So anyway, if you like music the way I do, love music the way I do, if you find music to be something that you really find to be important in the world, as I do, then you definitely should check out Acoustic Mass on Sundays. And you can always listen to the archived shows as well. You can download them as well if you want to play them on your iPhone or iPod or whatever media playing device you may have, because then you have free music. So be sure to check that out. Also, you can check out Gay Mass, the Gay Mass Show, which is, all about gay stuff. So if you are a gay person, you probably want to listen to that. And so I think it's important to listen to that show. And the other show I do is Brain Purge. Brain Purge, I just sit here and kind of ramble on, kind of like I'm doing tonight, and just sort of just talk about whatever's on my mind. So I have 3 genres of shows that I do, and those are the ones I do. So feel free to check them out. Okay, now on to the show. So first of all, I want to talk about what happened today at the grocery store. I went to the grocery store today, or we went to the grocery store today, I should say. And okay, first of all, I understand. Well, let me just get to the point first. I went to the grocery store. We went to the grocery store today and got groceries. And when we were checking out, go up to the checkout line, and this girl is checking us out, and she just starts pulling in this stuff. I already had the stuff on the belt, and she started to check it out. And I had bags. In Dallas, they have an ordinance that states that you cannot have. You can use plastic bags from the institution or the location you're going to, the store you're going to. But if you do, they charge you a 5-cent surcharge. And they do that because they're trying to get rid of plastic bags, and because they, fill up the landfills and whatever, and it's to help clean them up or whatever, the cost of it. But it has been very unpopular here in Dallas, this ban, or as they're calling it, it's not really a ban, it's a tax on plastic bags. It's actually on paper bags too, I think. But anyway, so because of that, most people are bringing their own bags. Now, we've been bringing our own bags, like cloth bags or reusable cloth bags or whatever, for years, just because I'm kind of green that way. I like to recycle, and I don't think plastic bags are good anyway. So we always try to remember to bring our bags with us when we go to the grocery store. So anyway, they're used to that now. And, you bring your bags, and they ask you, do you want to use your own bags or use, the plastic bags or whatever. And so she didn't even ask me anything. She just started checking things out, putting them in plastic bags. And I said, here are some bags. And she just kept going, didn't look up at me, nothing. I said, bags, hello. She's like, kept going. I said, I want to use these bags. And she stopped and huffed, and she grabbed the bag, snatched them out of my hand. Yeah, she snatched them out of my hand. And I didn't say anything. I said, and so she kept going or whatever. And then she had this whole attitude the entire time. From the very second I walked up, I don't know what her fucking problem was. I mean, I had not even said it. Literally, I had not said a word to this woman. This girl, I should say. And anyway, so she continues to check me out. And as we're getting towards the end, she says, what does she say? Oh, she brings us up, and she said, oh, by the way, when she's putting all the stuff in the bags, she's just throwing them in there haphazardly and putting the meats with the boxed goods and stuff that if it gets wet, it'll get ruined or whatever. You know what I mean? And cold stuff, hot stuff or whatever, and the eggs in with boxes that are going to get crushed. I mean, just really stupid stuff and probably intentional. And so she was being very passive aggressive. And so I just didn't say anything. And so finally, when the total comes up, my husband and I split the groceries when we buy them. So I said, she said, it'll be one, what did she say? I was like, I don't know, we only shopped for a week or two this time, $132.67. And I said, we want to split it. And she said, just swipe your card. I said, no, we want to split it. And she said, just swipe your card. I said, no, we want to split it. And she said, how much do you want to split it for? And I said, for 50%, whatever, I said half of it. I said half, just do half. She says, well, what amount do you want to use? I said, half, 50%. She said, what amount do you want to use? I said, 50% of $132.67, which of course I could have calculated in my head or use a calculator, but she was being a bitch, so I was being a bitch. I said 50% of whatever $132.67 is, and she just stood there. Now, I was ready to just stand there until she did it, but Michael, my husband, got out his iPhone and calculated it, and he said $66.34, and she put it in there. And then we swiped our cards, whatever, and then when he swiped his card second, the receipts started coming out. She started immediately to ring up the rest of the groceries. And I was like, okay. And she didn't even say hello, thank you, goodbye, kiss my ass, nothing. And she all of a sudden rips the receipt out of the receipt machine when it's coming out or whatever, and hands it to Michael. And I was like, if you don't like your job, that's okay, but you need to get an attitude adjustment, because half of the problem, when I say, I said, if you don't like your job, that's one thing, but to put it on everybody else is not my issue. So if you want to act like a bitch, then that's your problem. But I said, what did I say? I can't remember. There's something I said specifically. I said, there's a reason that I'm on this side of the counter and you're on that side of the counter. Half of it has to do with your attitude, sweetie. And that was it. And so I left, and I was like, I want to talk to the manager. So I looked for the manager, and we did not find the manager. There was like a person at the self-checkout counter or whatever. And instead we walked out, and I saw on the top of the receipt it had the name of the manager. So I called the store as we're leaving and getting in the car and everything. And I called the store, and the store's like, so can I speak to the manager? And I gave them the name, Kevin, whatever his name is. And they said, okay, hold on. And put me on hold, came back and said, well, he's not here right anymore today. I said, well, who's the manager on call? He said, well, it's either Maria or Craig or whatever he said. I said, well, let me talk to Maria or Craig. And so they put me on hold for like 20 minutes. I mean, not 20 minutes, for like, 2 minutes. And then I was like, he came back and said, well, they're not here today, but what can I help you with? I said, you know what? Your fucking store sucks. Instead of the people who work there, and I hung up. And so then I called the corporate office, and because I have an 800 number you can call, and I called them to complain directly, and they put me on hold they said, you'll be 5 minutes, you'll be on hold for 5 minutes, and we'll be right with you. And then I waited for 15 minutes, they never came to the phone, so I hung up. Then I went on their website, and then I emailed a long, strongly worded letter to them about this bitch of a checkout counter girl. Oh, by the way, she had her name tag on, but it was reversed. So it was completely facing towards her, so you couldn't see what her name was, which I'm sure was intentional, and she'd done that since the time we walked up. But, I mean, this woman's a bitch. So my point is like, if you don't like your job, just don't do it. I mean, there's no reason for you to make my day sour and down because you're in a fucking bad mood. It's not my fault that you work at this place and that you feel the need to be a bitch for no reason when I did nothing to you. If I'd gone up to her and I'd been rude or abrasive or had been anything but nice and friendly, I would have understood her reaction. But she was just a bitch, and maybe because we were gay, I don't know. But she was giving me this dirtiest look from the second I walked up, and so I was like, fuck you, bitch. So anyway, I really find that to be a fucking huge pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand... it really just irritates the fuck out of me when I am treated badly by some lowly person working at a store. And I say lowly because of the way they're acting, not because of what they do for a living. I mean, this person is acting as if they're higher than God and I'm some piece of shit when I'm just trying to buy my stuff. And so, I don't know, it really irritates me, especially if you have bad customer service experiences in general and people are like fast food places or places, grocery stores or department stores, whatever. I mean, any kind of negative customer service experience just pisses me the fuck off. And I guess it's because I know it's not that hard, It is not that difficult to be friendly, to be respectful, to be kind to each other, to other people. It is not that difficult to be, to have respect for other people. Yet people act like it's the hardest fucking thing that you could ever do. And as if, it's my fault that they work where they work or they do what they do or their life is the way it is or because they're pregnant or because their husband or wife left them or because they're whatever or they're poor or whatever. I mean, whatever the reason is they're pissed off that day, it's not because of me or any other customer. It's because of their own choices and their own lives. And so, I take responsibility for the choices I've made in my life that have put me where I am in my life for good, better or for worse. And I think these people should do the same. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that little incident because it pissed me the fuck off. All right, where's my fuck? I think I've lost my notes. Oh, here they are. Sorry. So anyway, that's that. And also there's a article that I read about this guy who was in Las Vegas at I think it was a wedding or something, and he